Hello and welcome to episode 23. So I did want to start off today by setting up basic aluminum production and then making the Hoverpack. Just real quick. Setting up aluminum production though, we need to go to an area we haven't gone to, which means using the Jetpack. And I happen to notice I had set up off camera just a real quick thing to make the liquid biofuel. And there's still 400 in here, but the storage container was empty. So I'm like, I've got 400 and then I've got 140, right? And that's all I've got. So I'm like, I better actually set this production up for real. And it needs water. That's why I hadn't set it up yet. But I'm like, man, the water's right there. Now that's not much water, but we don't need a lot. So I already got that there. And then I got the pipe running down it into the factory. And yeah, I haven't fixed this yet with the conveyors. We could kind of do the wall holes, or I could change this. I've also been tempted to upload this save to the Satisfactory calculator and try to pick the building up some to give me more clearance. I don't know, but let me go. So that water runs in upstairs. Let me go upstairs. So the water runs in here and then it goes up to the next floor and there's a pump there. And I don't think I actually showed this. This is the corner of the building where the rock kind of sticks in. And so I had to kind of do some things here to try to hide the rock because it's, yeah. So then up here on the first logistics floor, it comes up, it goes over, and then I just used the shaft to send it up with a pump every once in a while. I could have just run it up here like it was, a conveyor. It didn't really matter. I don't know. For whatever reason, I'm just like, oh, it's a pipe. I'll just do it differently. All right. So it comes up, it runs over. I had to keep it down right here because it was going to hit if I was trying to keep it straight. Well, it's not even straight, actually. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Anyways, I kept it up a little high just so it's easier to run under, but it runs all the way down to the other end of this logistics floor, which is on the production floor above, which is our top production floor. I've got a space down here. So the water runs up there and then I don't have anything else. And the water it's right there. So that's where the water is. But basically we need a refinery. And I'm going to tear this down and put it like exactly where I want it. But we'll have a refinery. We're going to set it to liquid biofuel. It's going to take solid biofuel and water to make the liquid. Now we have a bunch of solid biofuel because I pulled it out of the old base and I still have some biomass. So I don't want to just set that up. What I actually want is I want a storage container somewhere, probably down there, where I can dump wood, leaves, biomass, or solid biofuel. And there'll be a conveyor that takes all of them up here. And if it's solid biofuel, it tries to send it right to the refinery. And then we'll have constructors that will turn the wood and the leaves into biomass and the biomass into solid biofuel and the solid biofuel into here. And if I happen to send up wood or leaves, they'll go to the beginning. If I send up biomass, it'll go to the middle. If I send up the solid biofuel, it'll go to the end and then it'll get added with the water. And I don't need much water and this thing's not going to run that often. So that one water pipe's like crazy overkill. And we'll make liquid biofuel. And instead of running it back down to the production floor, I'm probably just going to put a storage container up here and a dimensional depot up here. So if you remember back a very long time ago, I set up production over here. I brought plastic over and we set up empty containers and it hasn't been doing anything the whole time. So I'm just about to hook it up and we're all the way to the back of the building here. So the empty containers are going to go up. I'm just doing a Mark II because we only need 40. So I'm sending 120. It's like way more than enough, but so the empty containers go all the way down almost to the front. And then right there by that light, they go up. So this will be where the empty containers pop up through the floor. I've also got down here, just to make the conveyors upstairs a little simpler, I've got that conveyor floor hole right here. And it drops down, it runs over to there, and then it pops back up, which you'll see upstairs in a second. I have not run the conveyor from downstairs that's actually going to bring the stuff up, but everything else is up here. So let me show you what I've got. So we've got the conveyor floor hole, or I'm sorry, the water pipe. What is it? A pipe floor hole? I don't know. So that takes our water all the way down. We'll come back to that. So here is where the conveyor would come from downstairs, bringing wood, leaves, biomass, or solid biofuel. because I just kind of want to be able to throw anything in it and it deals with it. I've got smart splitters, and each one is set to kick one certain thing off, and then any undefined, which would be anything other than wood, goes straight forward. So the wood would go into a storage container. We would come to the next one. Leaves would go into a storage container. Come to the next one. Biomass goes into the storage container. And then come to this last one. Solid biofuel goes forward. And then any undefined goes left into this storage container, which is just unknown. So just in case I throw something in the system that I shouldn't, it'll show up here. Now, there is one problem with this, with kind of sushi belts where I've set it up like this. If there's more wood than can go in this container, it'll just back up and nothing else will go forward. In this instance, that's perfectly fine. It doesn't matter. Like, okay, so the leaves can't make it to that one. It doesn't matter. Eventually, it'll process the wood, right? So wood, leaves, biomass, and then the solid biofuel. So the wood goes into this constructor, and it makes wood into biomass. The leaves go into this one, leaves into biomass. They combine together and go down through the floor. You saw that downstairs. It comes over, it pops up here. This is the one that takes biomass, right? So biomass I send from downstairs will go into this container, and biomass that comes from the wood and leaves will go into this container. So this would represent all of the biomass, whether I've already crafted it or I'm crafting it here. That'll go up here, and all the biomass will get turned into solid biofuel, which will go around and then go into this container, which is where the solid biofuel from downstairs is, right? So when I send solid biofuel up, it goes into here, or biomass goes into here, or the wood and leaves go into biomass and go. So everything turns into the solid biofuel into this container. It's going to come out. It's going to go into the refinery. It's going to take the solid biofuel and our water, which you can see the water. It's going to make liquid biofuel. I didn't need to put a tank here, but yeah, I just thought it was cool. So I put a tank here. So this will end up, filling up with biofuel. Then we're going to send it into a packager. Oh, I got to fix this because I moved that floor hole downstairs. So we're going to send it into a packager. The packager is going to take the liquid biofuel, and it's going to take the empty containers from downstairs, and it's going to be able to make the packaged liquid biofuel, which is going to feed into this container. And then upstairs is going to be the dimensional depot. So then I'll have access to it, right? I think for now, and this is something that's going to run for a bit and then it's going to shut off. So I've got it literally all set up and ready to go, except this conveyor just stops at a floor hole and I need to run it all the way down, all the way down. So on the top logistics floor, I just went ahead and ran it under the pipe all the way down. The pipe originally over here dropped down, went over, and then turned and went this way. I tried to straighten it a little bit, but I kept it up high and then dropped it and went that way. And then this goes down. So I'll run down through all of the floors, dropping that all the way down until I get to, I don't know. Yeah, I'm still not entirely sure what I'm going to do downstairs. So down here on the bottom logistics floor, this big rock outcropping thing, because that's why there's this bump up in the floor, is the big rocks under us. If that wasn't there, I would have probably gone down through the production floor and popped out under the building. But I can't do that, so I ran it to the middle of this floor. So I'm down here to the middle of the floor, and then I popped it down into the production floor. So let me run down to the bottom production floor. Okay, and what I did here was I picked this spot because this spot was open. So it's just running through the production floor and underneath. And this lines up with this catwalk over to this building. So I've got to, oh yeah, I don't know what happened there. Because that should fit in there. Well, I can't do it while I'm flying. There we go. That looks better. Where are we at? We're here. So I got to get down low enough to make it under this and then shoot through, and I can pop into this because it's a little basement in here. And technically that's where the solid biofuel is right now, is down in these containers, but I can pop over to there and then we can put the storage container potentially in here. I don't know. We can move it later when I actually make this building, right? So, and downstairs. So it happened to pop out right next to that light. So that worked out really good. I put some support there. I've got a support there. And then it runs into the little floor hole there. So that's nice and straight. So then all I need to do down here, and I did go upstairs and I disconnected the conveyor right before it starts. So I'm going to basically move these for now over into the corner, just so. I didn't expect that. I'm just going to put that one there. Maybe I'll put this one next to it. I can't fit it all in one. I don't really want to block the light. Well, let me put the other one backwards then. Because then I can just do U into U. That works. So I just got to come over here, and I probably got a bunch of crap in my inventory. Let me get rid of my inventory real quick. All right, so I'm going to put this, the one container is half biomass, half solid. I'm going to throw all of that in. That'll start sending the biomass up. And like I said, I disconnected the one upstairs. I think I can hold all this. Not quite. That's going to overflow, but that's okay. And obviously I don't have any wood or leaves, which I kind of need to test the rest of it. So I could have just tore this down. So eventually I do want a container upstairs where I can just dump my inventory, but we'll get to that later. So because of the way I put stuff in, the biomass is first. So nothing's going to go in the first two. The biomass is going to shoot here. The solid biofuel will shoot through there, but it's going to take it a while to get here. So this is going to go through. You can tell it's already getting turned into solid biofuel. That's going into here. That's going into here. We're making liquid biofuel, probably. And I don't think I need a pump on this because I think these put out a little bit of lift because this does go up a tiny bit. And then you should be coming into here. Although I might need a pump because of this. I might need a pump. Let me disconnect this because what I'm thinking is I might be able to lift this and it might work because this thing I think pumps out a certain amount. So it might be able to pump up to the tank and then the tank can gravity flow back to that. Let me test that out. All right, I got the tank sitting up here. That would gravity flow down because I think each machine can pump out a little bit. We'll see, though. We'll see, because this guy's definitely got a bunch of fluid in him by now. That's full. Is this getting some? Okay, it is. And if it pumps it up into here, yeah, it's going to gravity flow into this one. So in real life, if this thing could pump into here, it would still go up more, right? There's not like a, I don't know, a pressure reducing valve inside a tank. But in this game, it kind of like the ability for this thing to pump stops here. So you can gravity flow out of it or add a pump. But hey, and I don't even need the tank. I just did it. Just did it because I could. So we're making the packaged biofuel. So that's going along and it should be coming up here. Yes, it is. And it's not uploading because we've got 400. So hey, we've got plenty of liquid biofuel now to go exploring. Sorry, that took longer than I expected, but now we're ready to go and figure out some basic aluminum production. So I needed to unlock the aluminum recipe or, in the hub, and it takes 500 rubber. And when I went to do rubber in my dimensional depot, it wasn't full. And I'm like, that's weird. And so I came over here to check, and we make 20 rubber a minute, and we only use 15 in the modular engine. This is completely empty, and like that thing's empty, so that's why nothing's going into my depot over here. But I don't understand because, yeah, we're making 20 and I'm only using 15. So it should be like full all the time. Now we did have the truck station shut off, where this whole area was shut off, like 2 episodes ago because I had disconnected the power and not realized it. So I'm guessing that's the reason why. So back at base, the truck station's almost full of rubber, and then the conveyor leading up's almost full. So that's the only thing I can think is I must have completely ran out, and the truck is taking a lot more than 20 a minute over here, and it looks like it's back stuffing now. So it should start filling back up and then going back into the depot. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a problem because, I mean, you're not paying attention. You disconnect the wrong thing and then oops. So we'll go ahead and do this. I should have everything I need.
Milestone reached. Bauxite is refined into aluminum products via a multi-step process. Considering your past achievements, you should have the minimum required skill to overcome these new production challenges. If it helps, many others have done this before, so if you fail, someone else will eventually succeed.
I think the ones at the swamp are close. I guess technically that one's closer, but that's the area where the car got lost. Am I thinking of this wrong? I thought it was this way. It's that way? Huh. Okay. Well, that means it might be time to go and recover the original Explorer. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let me prepare for that. Based on this tractor's color, he should be going to get Crystal. So I'm just going to stand on him and take a ride. I would drive the car over there, but then if I pick up the other car, and then I'm going to have 2. Yeah, I know I could just deconstruct the other one, but I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to ride this guy as far as I can go. I'm not going to ride this thing through the cave because the spiders are going to knock me off, but I think I'll go over on this power line and zip line my way up and then kind of go back to that because I guess it's that way. So I'll come back when we get back up over into that area. There's a drop pod here, and I do need to get a couple hard drives just to unlock like the rocket fuel recipe and stuff. Ironically, so these are the power lines that run up to the crystal area. This is one that needs power, and it's just hilarious that my power lines are literally right here. So we'll snag that, tear that back down, and then we can tear everything down here. I'm glad they added this. And I guess I'll pick this stuff up just so it's not sitting in the world, but I mean, like, I don't need it. I'm going to end up sinking it all. What's that? Cable. All right, back to the top. So here from our crystal area, it kind of looks like a path up in there. Maybe not 100%, but I'm going to go up there and I'm just going to blow up the poison rocks just to clear that area out and go up there. And I'm kind of thinking maybe right there would be a good spot for another radar tower. I'll have to wait until I get up there and see how high it is compared to other things off that way, but it would be good to put a radar tower in this area. So it is I messed that up. It is a lot easier trying to fight stuff. Oh, hello. With the better jetpack, that's for sure. Uh-oh, I'm gonna die. I wasn't paying attention. I was doing good until I reached over to record, and then that totally threw me off. All right, well, the good news is I ran power lines up there, so I don't even need... Do I still have my jetpack? Yeah, I've still got my jet... Oh, I have my inventory. Yeah, I still have my inventory because I had that turned on. Even without that, I could ride the power lines back up, even if I had all my stuff up there. So, all right, back in a minute. So I'm back in the same spot, but I'm on the other side because over here, there's a much higher thing to stand on and they can't really get to me. And if I back up, they won't be able to shoot over the edge. So I'm just going to stand back here. There's 2 big of the spitter guys and then like the radioactive hog. And yeah, I'm just going to stand back here and keep throwing grenades at him, basically, because the rebar gun has so much drop. Okay. Other than one poison rock way over there. Oh, that was terrible. Yeah, when you fly, you... oh, yeah, this is... Is he radioactive, or is there something in there that's radioactive? I was going to try to get that drop pod, but... Yeah, we'll probably have to wait until we have proper safety precautions. Yeah, so anyways, I'm thinking about this spot would be a good spot for a radar tower. And what's this under? Special? No, it's under like organization. What's that? Where though is the... Yeah, I'm aimed right at it, so we should be able to get... Oh yeah, we can get powered way out there. And of course, as we're running around, I'm going to pick up power slugs. I really want to find more Mercer spheres, and I'll take any summer sloops I can find. Can I make it that far? Oh, I can. All right, so that should give us a pretty good radar tower. Yeah, wherever the car is, I had flown through this path or drove through or whatever, and all of this was dark. So we revealed all of that. Yeah, I did bring power lines over with me because I obviously we're going to need power, but not only is it giving me a spot to stand, oh, I can take these things out. Well, you know, we're going to need power anyway. I'm right by the... these things are hard. Yeah, I really need that rifle. All right, I'm going to try to clear a little space. The node is right there. There we go. That made us a little space, huh? Let's take out a couple more bushes here. And yeah, I could chainsaw this because then I could go back and turn it into liquid biofuel, but I have so much solid biofuel. I don't feel like I need to do that anytime soon, but maybe at some point we should. Okay, so we've got, so here's where the fun begins. So, hey, here's an aluminum node, right? Okay, we could put a miner down. Cool, yeah, let's do that. And then we could hook it up to power, and then we get bauxite. Oh, so do you take the bauxite and then like put it in a smelter? Nope. Nope, 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 no. Can be further refined into aluminum scrap. Okay, well, what do we do with aluminum scrap? Or aluminium for some of you. So aluminum scrap in the refinery, you take alumina solution and coal to make aluminum scrap and water? Wait a minute. Coal. We need coal? Wait, what's alumina solution? Yeah. Oh, you make that in the refinery. Okay, hold on. Let's put a refinery down. So alumina solution. So we feed it bauxite and water, and we get alumina solution and silica. Oh, so we need water. Yeah. And then what do we do with silica? Yeah, don't worry about that. Okay. So that would get us alumina solution. So then we come over here and we take alumina solution and coal to make aluminum scrap and water. And keep in mind that the outputs, if they build up, you know, the whole thing shuts down. Okay, so what do we do with the alumina scrap? So then you get foundry. You take the aluminum scrap and silica, and keep in mind, you're like, oh, wait, well, that output silica earlier. Yeah, the amounts aren't going to be right. Neither is the water that it outputs going to be the water that needs. And then you get aluminum ingots. What do I need? I need sheets, which takes aluminum ingots and copper ingots to make the aluminum. I would need the assembler for that. So we need copper and coal and water and the bauxite. Now I see a little creek right here. I do not know, because this area has changed significantly. What's it under production? I don't know if this is deep enough. Oh, it is. Okay. So we could definitely get some water. It looks like there's like a spot there. There's a spot here. Maybe a third spot. Maybe if we blew up a rock, yeah, there's a fourth spot. So we could definitely get our water from right there. Yeah, okay, but what about coal and copper? Well, there's always copper around, right? So let's see, where's the closest copper? And I might have it revealed on the map. $600 meters. 600 meters. Okay, so that's way off that way. So this one's 600 meters. Oh, so this way. Yeah, so those are both pretty far away. All right, what about coal? That's not what I wanted. I was pressing V instead of N. Where's the coal at? Okay, the coal's close by. Not that close, but close-ish. Yeah, so copper's pretty far away. And now we could truck the stuff, conveyor the stuff, whatever, but I'm just trying to set up something simple to unlock the hover pack. So I'm kind of thinking our simple thing is going to be very, very simple. We'll probably just make here, we'll run the water and bauxite in to make the solutia and the silica. We'll come over here and turn it into scrap and water. And then we can take the scrap and the silica and make ingots. And then maybe we'll just make a storage container and grab a whole bunch of ingots and then go back to base with the ingots. Because I only need 100 to unlock the hover pack plus whatever it costs to build. All right, so I'm just going to hook power up. I've got the miner. I connected it to the refinery, and I'm trying to run the water pipe, which I just did down here to 2 extractors. Oops. Don't know what we just did there. Okay, that should turn the 2 of them on. I put a pump here. I don't know that I needed a pump for that, but who cares? It's just temporary. So we're sending up 180 water. This thing takes 180 water. It needs 120 bauxite. I underclocked this thing to 50%, so it's 120. Okay, so that's going to start making the alumina solution, and it's going to kick out 50 silica. What if I connected it to power? So we're making our alumina solution and our silica. So then this one takes alumina solution and coal. Oh, I forgot about the coal, didn't I? Forgot about the coal. We'll take the pipe. We'll go from here. I'm just going to kind of go out so I leave room for the conveyor. That would be our alumina solution. We'll go ahead and put a storage container out here. How much do you make? Silica? Oh, 50. Yeah, we're fine. We'll just do a Mark II to the top. Okay, so that'll keep him going. You're going to put your solution out. You're going to send your solution into here. Yep, you're getting your solution into here. How much are you making? 120. So this could be underclocked to 50. So I need 60 coal a minute. It's not actually too bad. It's just right there. There's like the high spot and the low spot, and you can see the top of the miner. So the coal's right there. So I got the conveyor to here. I got the power to here. And then when I turn around, this is right here. So that's not too bad. Surface is too uneven, huh? Oh, let's just take this thing out. Let's make the surface even. And we'll just shoot right through here. And, oh, there you go. So that will be our coal. And our alumina solution. She's already got, so that's going to put out scrap. And it's going to put out water. Now, what do we do with the water? Well, if we were making a permanent thing, we would be trying to feed the water back in at the start. I don't really care, because this is temporary. So I can just take and put the big fluid buffer here. I can take the pipe, run it into this, and if this thing manages to fill up, you just take this thing and you flush it, and it just empties it out. So that will get rid of our excess water. That's going to make us our aluminum scrap. And then the next step needed copper, right? To take the scrap. Oh no, scrap and silica. Okay, that's fine because we do have some silica. Let me, where was the silica at? It was back there. Let's do this over here. Let me get rid of this thing. Okay, and you... How much are you kicking out of this? 180. Which I'm sure we're not going to have enough silica for that, but that's fine. And the coal's finally making its way over here. Okay, and then I need the silica from this storage container to come back this way. How much are you making of this? Like 50. Yeah. So that will not give us enough silica. But I think I have silica. I don't know that I put it. I don't know that I put it on my depot. Okay, I did. All right, so I could easily take, and we could put a merger here. We could take another storage container. I can actually do the same thing with copper on it. No, because I don't have copper ingots. I definitely don't have ingots in the... definitely don't have ingots in the dimensional depot. So I'll just grab it all. Fill that up. And how much are you supposed to have? 75 a minute. I made that a Mark II, right? Yep. Okay. So you should be making me aluminum ingots. You are. Let me get another storage container. Heard that click and I moved. All right, so now we're making aluminum ingots, and I could, I could bring copper over. I could go back to base, and I could put copper in a dimensional depot, copper ingots, because we don't need that many to do the next step. But honestly, who cares? Who really cares? We'll just, because it does 30 to 30, so we'll just grab this. We'll let this run for a bit, and then we'll go back to base, and yeah. And then I can just... I'll probably just leave this whole thing up. Actually, what I could do is I could just put a dimensional depot on the aluminum ingots. So if I happen to need more, because I have a couple Mercer spheres left. Yeah, I've got 3 still. That way we can leave this whole setup running. And when I get back to base, I don't have to stand here because number one, it's getting nighttime and I don't know if this is a spider area or not. We won't need that. I did go ahead and switch this out for a priority merger because, you know, it was coming from both ways. So it was taking both of them. It was backing that up. If the silica backs up in there, this machine will shut down. So I have it set to always prioritize taking that. If there's space, then this will come in. So that would have shut it down. Now, when this runs out over here, it's still going to keep producing. It's just going to produce a lot slower. One minor thing I forgot about was the water. We don't have a way to get rid of the water. So I went ahead and built 3 of these, and each one kind of drops downhill. So they'll kind of gravity feed. And just to make sure, I put a pump here. And that pump will make sure that this thing can fill all the way to the top. And if it's all the way to the top and it's higher, that will gravity feed those. So it should be able to fill all 3 of them. And then of course we can also, there should be a bunch of water down in the bottom. So there's water in the bottom. So if I come up here and do this for full pipe, it should empty this one. Now there's immediately going to be some water coming in. Yeah, it emptied that one. That'll let it run for quite a while. I do want to get the car while I'm over here. I've already come over to the coal thing. It's just a little farther this direction. And if you didn't watch, a long time ago when I was exploring the cave that goes from this area, where's the cave entrance at? Oh, right here. When you're near this void thing and you go through this cave and it winds its way up and then pops you out so you can get to these crystal nodes, the explorer was in there and then it just disappeared. Oh, there it is right there. And it popped through. I didn't know where it was. I thought maybe it fell through the world. And I loaded this save in a creative world where I could just fly over here. And then I saw like, nope, it's just sitting here on top. So it popped up. So we finally have the car back. Now, how to get the car back to base, I'm not certain because our road pops out way down here. Yeah, I'm going to try to go back to base with this, but I don't really know how to get there. This seems like it might be my best way down. I kind of knew there wasn't an easy way to drive down from up there. So I knew at some point I was just going to have to drive off a cliff. Now, is that realistic? No. But I could disassemble it, but I don't want to disassemble it. Oh, yeah. I know exactly where we are. We're at the coal area. Oh, now that I have infinite nudge, I need to fix that too. Because I couldn't do like this bridge was without infinite nudge. There was no way to roll the little things and make the V. All right. And just like that, we've got this guy back home with his buddy. And I did drive through the truck station and take my fuel out just so it would fill up with the compacted coal. It doesn't really matter, but I pulled a whole bunch of copper out of the copper smelters and pulled a whole bunch of the aluminum ingots out of the dimensional depot. And I'm just going to sit here and craft up. I mean, I can make 400. I'm pretty sure that's way more than I need, right? To unlock the hoverpack. Yeah, I only need 100 of the sheets, and then we have all the rest of that stuff. So I'll just make up 400 for no reason. I forgot, too, that I didn't have to pull the aluminum ingots out of the dimensional depot because I got to 400. I'm like, why am I still making these? And then I look, and it's like, you can still make 400. I'm like, oh, right, because it just keeps putting more in the dimensional depot. It's way more than enough. Let's just stop. I never hooked anything of ingots up to dimensional depots or even put storage on them. But now I'm thinking like, you know, if I had all the ingots on, if I'm out and about and I go to a crafting thing, I can craft anything. So maybe that is something to consider. I don't know what this is going to cost to make.
Milestone reached. The hoverpack draws energy from nearby power connections and so can only be used in their vicinity. It provides an excellent vantage point of your work, which you clearly
I'm gonna
need.
make a couple.
Otherwise, you would have optimized that obvious problem by now.
I try to have a little of everything in the dimensional depot just in case, like, if somebody downloads my save, they can get on there and access the dimensional depot and have everything they need in there. So we should be able to take this and put it to there. And then I don't know. Yeah, okay. You don't have to double click. So as long as we're close to power, and the way I built this building, there's power on every floor. Still not quite as fast as Creative Flight. So there's power, of course, on the production floors, but even on the logistics floors, I ran power down. Where's it at? Is it near the beams? Yeah, it's down the beams. So every one of these beams has power. So I can be absolutely anywhere in the building and the Hoverpack should work. So there you go. Now we got the Hoverpack. And of course, the best thing about it is it can hover. So I can just work on stuff like this. I can also use it when I'm outside. Let's say I want to travel back over to the aluminum area. Because I use the little power lines, I can't very easily use the zipline tool because it really works well with the big power towers. But I can use this thing as long as I'm close to the power lines. And I don't remember what the range is. Oh, there it is. But if you're flying along with these little power lines, yeah, so I could fly all the way there or to the oil area or whatever. So there you go. There's the Hoverpack. That took a lot longer. I'm like, okay, we're just going to start. We're going to get some basic aluminum real quick. And then we'll get the Hoverpack. Well, then I wanted to do that area up there, which I'm glad I did. And I am thinking now, too, because I sent slugs into here because I picked up a few slugs, right? Got like 5 more slugs. We could add slugs to that. So where that last container kicks out and it's just the other, I could have the slugs go that way. And we could process all the slugs into power shards, but I would want to put sloops in those machines to get more slugs out or get more power shards out of it. And I don't have any more sloops. I do think what I want to do, I'll probably do it between episodes because unfortunately we're already at the wrapping up point and I didn't even get to the trains yet. But I think what I'll do between episodes, I need to go hunt down a bunch of summer sloops and a bunch more Mercer spheres. I'll record it. And I'll just kind of cut them together where you just see me grabbing them. And that'll probably be the beginning of next episode is we'll just have all those and then I can get started. Because before I do another major construction project, what I found was putting the walls on this building, I kept running out of concrete and steel beams. And yeah, if we get 49 more Mercer spheres, we could go ahead and upgrade. We could get these last 2 upgrades, right? So that'll get us from 120 to 240. And then this will give us another stack of stuff. That's cool. But what's a lot cheaper is just adding, instead of having 1 dimensional depot for concrete, have like 3 of them or 4 of them. And now all of a sudden, like, wow, now it's really filling up. So I do need to increase the number of dimensional depots on concrete and steel beams because that was the one thing I was running out of. So, yeah, I'm going to do that before next episode. See you guys next time.